behind closed doors in Brussels. A single binding document was just signed that changes the tech landscape forever. There was no grand press conference, no warning given to Silicon Valley, just a final, devastating signature from the European Commission. For over 20 years, Google has held an unbreakable monopoly on global internet traffic. But with one stroke of a pen, that empire was just legally ordered to be dismantled. This is not a typical corporate fine. This is a structural execution order, targeting the exact machine that prints Google's billions. And it is hitting them at the absolute worst moment, just as their entire internal artificial intelligence division is starting to fracture from within. Here is what is actually happening. To understand the absolute scale of this disaster, you have to look at the device sitting in your pocket right now. Globally, over 2 billion active smartphones run on the Android operating system. For more than a decade, Google has used this massive mobile footprint as an impenetrable protective shield. If you bought an Android device, Google Search was the default option. Gemini was the built-in unmovable assistant. Competitors were deeply locked out of the core system. But the antitrust regulators just declared that entire system illegal. Moving forward, Google is being legally forced to grant rival artificial intelligence platforms identical native access to the deepest levels of the Android ecosystem. Imagine turning on a brand new smartphone and finding ChatGPT or Claude deeply integrated directly into the hardware, running with the exact same speed and system privileges as Google's own tools. The protective wall around 2 billion users has officially crumbled, and the battlefield is completely wide open. But losing their exclusive hardware dominance is only half the nightmare. The second part of this legal hammer strikes at Google's absolute greatest modern asset, their data. Under the new binding terms of this ruling, Google must share its historical search query logs directly with competing artificial intelligence companies. Think about what this actually means for the balance of power. For 2 decades, Google's ultimate competitive advantage was that they alone knew what the entire world was thinking, searching, and buying every single second of the day. That massive archive is the premium fuel that trained their neural networks. Now the government is forcing them to hand that exact fuel over to their fiercest rivals. Platforms like OpenAI and Anthropic will soon possess the legal right to tap into the world's most valuable search database to train their next-generation models. Google is quite literally being forced to manufacture the weapons that will be used to defeat them. Now here is the detail that almost every tech channel missed this week. This massive legal attack is hitting Google at the absolute worst psychological moment. Inside their development labs, total panic is setting in. Internal engineering documents have just leaked, revealing that Gemini 3.5 Pro has officially missed its development performance targets for the 3rd consecutive time. While companies like Anthropic are releasing lightning-fast developer tools and OpenAI is moving closer to advanced logical reasoning architectures, Google's next flagship engine is completely stalling behind closed doors. Engineers are reporting massive issues with computational efficiency and rising hallucination rates. The company is burning through billions of dollars in electricity and custom hardware infrastructure, yet the software is failing to beat older models in head-to-head testing. They are losing the product race at the exact moment they are losing their legal protection. If we project this trajectory out to 2027 and 2028, the global tech landscape looks entirely unrecognizable. The default setting of the internet is shifting. When exclusive search data becomes open source and hardware entry barriers vanish, Google's ability to passively monetize the web collapses. We are about to witness the true fragmentation of the smartphone ecosystem. A user in the United States might run a device powered entirely by an OpenAI operating system, while a user in Europe relies on a highly localized sovereign artificial intelligence model. The hundreds of billions of dollars in advertising revenue that automatically flowed into Google's bank accounts every quarter will be split across dozens of agile, aggressive competitors. The era of the single search giant is coming to an end. In the late 1990s, Microsoft controlled over 90% of the personal computer market. They felt completely untouchable. Then, a massive antitrust case broke their momentum, opening the door for a small search startup called Google to take over the world. Today, history is repeating itself in perfect reverse. The hammer has fallen. The concrete is already being poured for a brand new tech era. Do you think Google can survive this structural fracture, or is their trillion-dollar empire officially over? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this gave you a perspective the mainstream media is completely missing, hit that subscribe button, because this story is just getting started.